it goes.
Get ready, Jeff. Come here, stand up here, buddy.
This week on Kentucky Afield, fishing is a fantastic way to relax for many sportsmen. We introduce you to a man who is deserving of a calm day, with a fishing pole in his hand.
Is that your biggest bass ever?
Yeah.
Nice job, man.
Also, have you ever wanted to get back to basics when you bow hunt? Learn how to create a bow all the way from picking a tree to knocking your first arrow. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Yeah, we got one. Sweet.
Yeah, muskrat?
Yeah.
Good job.
What do you know about that, man? That's a good fish, man.
Nice male smallmouth. Healthy, pretty color.
Cody, here. Find us one more good pheasant, Cody.
As biologists, we catch ducks and we place bands on them.
And it's just a really excellent place to see cottonmouths.
I like it.
What do you think? Like bull.
That was pretty fun.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. I have a really good friend who's one of the hardest workers I know, and he loves to fish. Unfortunately, he doesn't get much time to do so. Now, meet Jeff. So today on Kentucky Afield, we're doing something a little different. I'm gonna meet up with a friend of mine. His name is Jeff Gillespie, and Jeff is mentally challenged. He loves to fish. He always asks me if I've been fishing. So we're showing up where he works here at WW Cousins, and we're gonna take him fishing. He has no idea we're here. We pulled in, and he's actually standing right here. So we can't get out of the car yet. We're trying to hide until he gets off work, and that's at noon. So we're gonna take him, catch some fish. Jeff's gonna be excited. This is gonna get fun. Hey, Jeff.
Good.
It's Chad.
Chad?
How you doing, man?
Fine.
Come over and have a seat with me.
We're gonna be busy.
Your boss said it's okay.
We're gonna be busy.
That's okay.
She said you can have a seat for just a minute.
For a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on over and have a seat, buddy. What's your favorite thing in the world to do?
Fishing?
You know what? I got a surprise for you today.
What?
I'm gonna take you fishing
When?
when you get off work.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Hey, she said when you get off work in 15 minutes, she said you can go fishing, and guess what? Your mom told me that you got a TARC ticket today.
Yeah.
We're not gonna use that. I'm gonna put you in my truck. I don't have the boat. We're gonna go fish on the bank, but I'm gonna take you to a place where we're gonna catch some big fish.
Where?
It's in Simpsonville, not that far away.
Okay.
You wanna go?
Yeah.
You have a real special employee here, don't you?
We do. Jeff Gillespie, been with us 28 years next month.
28 years.
Yes.
So 28 years, how many employees you have here that's been there longer than that?
No one. He cleans our tables, cleans our trays, does the parking lot. In the last 28 years, he's probably only been absent 10 days. He's always on time.
Well, Jeff, let's go set a chair up, and I've got our bait in here. What kind of bait you want to use today?
I don't know. What do you think?
I have some chicken, some night crawlers, and then I have some bait that really stinks real bad. Let's put a night crawler on it.
Yeah.
All right, let's give that a try. We're gonna set this down, and hopefully, big old catfish takes it.
There it goes.
Get ready, Jeff. Come here, stand up here, buddy. We didn't even get our second pole out yet.
I know.
We already got something on there. Ready? Lift it up and start reeling. Is there a fish on there? You feel
Big
one?
one.
Is it a big one?
Yeah.
Looky there. This thing's got whiskers like a cat. What kind of fish you think it is?
Catfish?
It is a catfish.
That's good fish, huh?
That is a good fish. Let's put him back in, what do you think?
Yeah, let him get bigger.
Let him get bigger. What do you know about that?
That's one fish.
That's one. Get ready, Jeff.
You got him?
Here, see if there's one on there. Oh, it's a bluegill.
Yep.
Now you caught a bluegill. You know what? You've caught a red-eared sunfish.
Yeah.
That was fast. Let's put another night crawler on and get him out there. What do you think?
Yeah.
Miss Gillespie, thank you so much for helping us put this together. Tell me a little bit about Jeff and fishing.
I guess Jeff was about 6 or 7, something like that, when my dad first took him fishing, and he fell in love with it.
I've heard that he loved to sit in the boat all day and fish.
Yeah, he sure could. My dad said, you know, he'd rather take Jeff with him than anyone, really.
We may walk over here and try this other small pond.
Over there?
Yeah, over there may have more fish like this big.
That's good.
Yeah, you'll take that, won't you?
Yeah.
Is there a fish on there?
Yeah. Big one.
Looking right on the roof of the mouth, right
Yeah.
like it's supposed to be. So you caught a catfish, a red ear, and a bass.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's 3.
3, yep. Good job, buddy. Here you go. Oh, you got a catfish, a little one. Look how pretty this catfish is.
Yep.
Look how it's marked up. You like it?
Yeah.
He's a little bitty part, but you got one.
Yeah.
What number's that?
4.
4. Nice job. You wanna hold him?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No. You got a bass.
Yeah. Bass.
Come on up here. Man, that's a good one.
That's 5.
That's 5. You're exactly right. Well, Jeff, our truck's parked over there by the other pond. You want to walk back down there, maybe fish for a little bit more before we head out?
Yeah.
Let's do that. You got one, Jeff? It's a bluegill. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Nice job. How many's that?
6.
6 fish.
7.
Here you go.
Little one.
A little one, but that's okay. Look how pretty this fish is. Can you see that purple in
Yeah.
there? Look up here, you see that?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Me.
Another little one.
8.
Is that the same fish?
I think.
Look how little he is.
Yeah, that's the bait.
That is the bait. That's exactly right. We got plenty of bait. There's a million of them down there. Here we go. We're gonna put this one out there deep. Ready?
Yeah.
This bobber over here is acting funny.
Come on, fish.
Come here, Jeff. You got one, buddy. What have you got? Oh, it's a bass.
Bass.
Man, you caught a big bass.
Yeah.
That is a good job. Look at that.
That's 9, right?
That is 9, and that's a good sized bass you've caught right there.
Yeah.
Is that your biggest bass ever?
Yeah.
Nice job, man.
One more.
Here you go. See what you got. You got a big one?
Yeah, big fish.
Looky there.
That's 10. You got fish.
Got you a good one here. That catfish as long as your leg.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff, this is why we came out here and went fishing.
Yeah.
I've had a great time with you today,
Yeah.
buddy.
Okay.
It's been a lot of fun. You caught you a big fish. We're gonna get this one back in the water though, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna walk down here and turn it loose, okay?
That big keeper right there.
That is a big keeper right there.
Fish fry. There we go. Just take that.
Thank you all, Chad,
Oh,
for
no
getting
problem.
it together and doing this for him, because this is special.
Hey, Jeff, you're my fishing buddy, and we're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah.
Now let's check in and see who's catching what and where in this week's fishing report.
This is Marcy Anderson with the Fishing Report for Southeast Kentucky. On Lake Cumberland, low oxygen levels in the deeper parts of the water have moved the walleye and striped bass into shallower water, with fish currently in 20 to 50 feet of water. Walleye are being caught on crankbaits and bottom bouncers, and planer boards and downriggers are good bets for striped bass. On Lake Linville, the yellow perch population continues to expand, and we are seeing decent numbers of 10 to 11-inch fish. Try fishing in vegetative coves using inline spinners or small cranked baits. Trout streams in the Daniel Boone National Forest and Laurel River Lake tailwater have recently been stocked with rainbow trout. October 1 marked the start of catch and release season on several trout streams, so be sure to check the fishing guide to see which creeks are included in this regulations. Good luck and good fishing.
This is Justin with your fishing report out of the Northeast. The fall muskie should be really taking off at Cave Run. Try fishing topwater early in the morning next to the wheat bed. Also look for a good cloudy day to help turn on the bite. The Army Corps is starting to draw the lake to get to winter pool. Cave Run tailwaters is also really turned on for bass and crappie. We are seeing good numbers of big fish just down from the dam. Try targeting the channel edge with your favorite bass lure, or drift a minnow down and have a good chance of catching either one. Other options are in the upper part of Cave Run Lake and Grayson. Target deep water habitat. Down trees that are hanging in the channel are great options, or you can fish department piles. Go online or stop by one of the offices located around the lakes to get a map for the habitat. Trout have been stocked in East Fork Indian, Middle Fork Red River, and Swift Camp Creek. These waters are catch and release through March 31st. That should do it for us in the Northeast. Remember to take a kid fishing next time you go.
This is Rob Rold in the Northwestern Fishery District. Bass fishing's been fairly slow, but is picking up slightly as the water cools. Both rough and no-lin are at Summer Pool and steady. Crappie fishing is slow, but it's steadily improving as well. Most of the crappie that are being caught are in the 10 to 14-foot depth range over those deeper brush piles. White bass are still in the jumps at no-lin, especially in the areas of the dam and the state park. Ohio River's in a good, stable condition. Anglers are still catching some hybrid striped bass, and olive catfish below the dams. Hybrid striped bass and striped bass will remain in the tailwater areas below the dams for another 2 or 3 weeks. That's an update from the Northwestern Fishery District. Please remember, be safe on the water and always wear your life jackets.
With all of the technology available to hunters today, when you mention the word archery, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But for some, it's real simple. It's a stick and a string. So Joe, what we're doing here today is you're about ready to show me a tree that you've fallen in love with to turn into a handmade bow.
That's right. This is an absolute beauty of an Osage orange, or hedge apple, as most people call it.
Okay, and so it's exactly what this is, right?
Correct.
And this is a bow that you spent many hours getting this exact right shape, and it takes a lot of know-how to get this at the right moisture and to bend it exactly right and to shape this the way you've got it done here. But you don't do this just for fun. You do this because this is your hunting bow, right?
Right, yeah.
And you've taken several deer with this bow and some turkey as well, right?
I have.
There's something about the simplicity of this piece.
When you go in the woods with the compound, you're packing a gadget bag, a rangefinder, arrows, release. You have so much stuff that by the time you get up in your tree, you're feeling labor.
Tell me a couple reasons why you like this particular tree.
Well, Osage typically looks like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The next tree over is really knotty, and you can actually look at the bark and see that it swirls around the tree. It's not growing straight. This one, I mean, I'm willing to bet when I cut this tree and split it, it's going to split pretty much straight. This is a very good stave in that it's split very straight. The grain is good.
So this is one that you're currently starting to work on, right? So what I'd like to do is to follow you through this all the way to shooting it someday.
Okay.
Now, we're not going to be able to do it with this tree, and the reason being is when you cut that, you're going to then store that wood for about a year before you get started, right?
Yes.
And you're already here, same kind of wood, same type of wood. This is probably going to be your 2019, 2020 bows potentially.
I've got a few staves put away to work on, but this is a tree that's just absolutely perfect.
From start to finish, you're telling me it's about a 45-hour project?
That's what I had in my first one.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a couple hours to cut the tree and prepare the staves, seal them, get all that ready. And then you're looking at another 40 hours at with a draw knife and a rasp, basically, working out the bow. When I get down to really close to the final tiller, I'll use a paint scraper.
We'll let this tree live another day, and we'll get started on what we got.
Sounds good.
All right, that sounds great. So Joe, you picked an Osage tree, but now you're going to show us how to cut a stave, and this is actually a locust, correct?
Correct, this is black locust.
So the process of getting the stave out to build a bow is the same no matter what type of wood you're using for the most part?
Essentially, you've got two types of wood. You know, you've got Osage and whitewoods, and locust is one that can be treated either as a whitewood or like Osage in that you can chase a ring.
Okay.
You see how the rings are well defined here?
Yes.
Generally, you want the stave to be equal to your height.
Okay.
And most people, if they span their arms, that's going to be pretty close to what their height is. So when I'm cutting a tree, I'll go, okay,
there you go.
There's where I want to cut it, right there.
Yeah.
That's my measuring stick.
This is obviously split. So you're going to utilize that split.
It's got a check in it where moisture is escaping or it had, you know, whatever fault it may have had. So I'm going to take advantage of that. There's a couple of checks actually. The easiest bow to make is here where you've got wider rings. And you know, that just makes it easier to chase. If you make a mistake, you haven't nicked completely through that ring. This wood is a little tighter grain, but easily you've got a bow in this. You've got, potentially, you've got a bow here, and another bow here, and maybe, I don't know what kind of a deformity is there, so you might be able to cut it off and make a kid's bow. But when I split out these staves, that's how I'm going to kind of pick where I put the splits after I do the initial, the initial split.
Okay. There we go. This thing's almost getting manageable.
You know, I'm going to cut that in half, make sure I've got enough room for a bow there. Even though I drew that out as this would be a for sure one bow, I'm taking a gamble that I'm going to get 2, possibly 3 out of this. And once you hit it, you can't take it back.
All right, we got these. Let's get them up there and show us the next stage.
Okay, sounds good.
So now you're just going to put this in to hold it so you can remove some of the wood off of it.
Yes. Once you get down to the actual wood.
Whoops! And you can kind of tell when the wood's there, it's going to be this color.
Yes, it's going to have a little different,
a little bit darker,
a little different color.
Because this wood here is a little soft, right?
Yeah, this is still the inner bark. But something that's very important is that when you get this wood ready to dry, there's no question, when did I get that? When did I put that up?
So once you get to this stage right here, it really is seal it with polyurethane, ends and back, and then put it up, and
a couple years if you can.
Couple years even. So you always keep a couple in the works. This one's been stored and dried and is ready to go, right?
This one's 3 years, yes.
So the next process is?
Chasing a ring on Osage.
Okay.
So I've secured that. You can see I'm down to a ring there, and I've got 2 rings on top of it. So my goal is to take off those rings one at a time. And once I get this to a complete ring, and I'm happy with the way that's looking, I'll then draw the bow profile on the side of the stave.
Okay. We're going to go through the next stage of this, which is
laying out the bow.
We're going to lay out the bow, and first and foremost is the center.
You got to find the center. The center is where your finger is going to pivot just shy of 29. So this is going to be my center. I'm going to mark it on the side as well as the back of the bow.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to grip the bow, the fulcrum of the bow.
That's essentially where the arrow's going to reside, right there above.
Well, the arrow's going to be above that,
a little above
an
that.
inch and a half maybe.
Okay.
That's the grip. That's the fulcrum of the bow.
Okay.
So now, if you've got a handle profile that you like, you can lay that up there, get the back even, and just kind of do your side profile like that.
Okay, gotcha.
So, an arrow shelf, I like to do it about an inch and a half. So, and I like it to have a little bit of an arch to it so that it has a minimal amount of contact with the arrow. I know my limb thickness is going to be, you know, no more than a half an inch. So I will basically rough it out like that.
Gotcha, okay.
And the same thing here. You're gonna need to have a fade area where the bow transitions from handles to the limbs. And the way I've drawn this, essentially this is the fades. I usually measure this, but I used another bow of my preferred pattern to get to that point. And it depends on whether you're making a pyramid bow, a pyramid meaning it starts the widest at the fades and goes directly to the apex where the tips are. If you've got a reasonably straight stave, you can lay this on the center, and you find your center, and I'll mark, you know, a point 3/8 of an inch each side of that, and that's going to give me a little wider than a half-inch tip that will let me narrow that down later on.
Okay.
One thing that you also want to take in consideration, this has a little bit of a snake meander to it. A knot, like you see right here, you're better off to have it where it is now than right on the edge of the bow.
Gotcha, you don't want, okay.
You don't want that weakness, you know, because if you cut through that knot on the edge, you've created a weak spot.
Gotcha.
And I like to do a pyramid bow. Some people will come up halfway, keep this the same width, halfway, and they start their taper at the halfway point. And this makes a really interesting bow in and of itself. This is going to be a safe limb design for this bow given this knot.
Gotcha, okay.
If I had done a pyramid bow to the tip, this knot's going to be a problem.
It's going to be right on the edge.
It's going to be right on the edge, and I don't want that. And I've got another knot that you can't see from this side. There is another knot here that when I go to chasing that ring is going to be complicating as well. So I want to keep this width what it is. Another thing, you mark both sides of the bow. Here's my fade. So I know when I go to whittling on that.
Stay way out.
Stay way outside the line. Leave the lines on the wood and everything is good.
You'll take a saw and saw that out?
I'll get on a bandsaw and I'll whack off this. You can do it with a hand saw as well. You got to be real careful here around the fades, but I get rid of most of that.
Gotcha.
With a saw. It saves me a lot of time.
Okay.
It takes, you know, it goes from being a 40-hour bow to being a 15, 20-hour bow.
Yeah.
If you're not removing this with a draw knife or a rasp. That's a lot of wood.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this bow takes shape. Watch next week as we finish up Joe's bow and take a look at the finished product, and we check in and see how his whitetail season's going. Now let's see who else is out there having fun as we check out this week's ones that didn't get away. Here's a nice deer taken by Nicholas Pauley from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. This deer was taken on the opening day of gun season in Grant County. Nice job. Check out this really impressive Shelby County deer taken by Clay Hughes, a 12-point buck. Congratulations. Angel Hatton started out right with this really nice deer taken during the modern firearms season. Nice job. Here's 6-year-old Trace Russell from Mount Washington, Kentucky with his first deer, a button buck, taken in Breckenridge County while hunting with his dad. Nice job. Derek Chapman of Harrison County took this nice 10-point buck on private land in Scott County. Nice job. 4-year-old Landon Roberts started hunting the same way I did, squirrel hunting, and here's his first squirrel from Meade County, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now here's a fish you don't see every day, a sturgeon caught by Michael Forster in the headwaters of Lake Cumberland. It was released immediately. Nice catch. Here is Chance and Christian Greenwell at Waverly Park in Louisville, fishing out of a Finns Lake. They both caught nice trout this day. Congratulations. Here's 8-year-old Mason Bennett fishing with his sister. He caught a nice bass in Barron County, Kentucky. Congratulations. You can't start a kid fishing too young. Here, Caden Rush, 4 years old, caught his first bass in a Barron County farm pond. Nice job. Here is 5-year-old Ray Lynn Biddle showing her doe that she took on her pop's farm. Nice job. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and hope to see you in the woods or on the water.